Recording this show wearing my own merch. That's right, I got a t-shirt with my logo on there. My mother-in-law made these shirts when Nora was back at home. It's pretty awesome. Has the show logo there on everything. Makes me feel like a big-time legitimate podcast having my own merch. I don't know if it will ever become available for you to buy, but who knows? Maybe one day the show is so damn big that you're going to have a whole bunch of Luke Kelly's show podcast merch. I hope to get there. Crossing my fingers that you had a great week as well. Thank you for hitting play wherever the hell you listen to this podcast at. I'm all jacked up because I just had a cup of coffee at 4:20 on a Sunday afternoon. Don't worry, I'm not partaking in anything else at 4:20. I don't do that sort of stuff, all right? Just enjoying my weekend. That's all that I'm doing, man. It has been a fantastic weekend hanging out with my beautiful wife, Nora. We went and did a few different things over the weekend, and it put me in a great mood. It really did put me in a good mood. One of the things that Nora and I did this weekend, Nora didn't have to cook pretty much at all this weekend, except today, Sunday, the day that I'm recording this podcast. Friday night, she cashed in. If you don't know, Nora and I do this thing that we call a Money in the Bank, a spinoff of what the WWE does. So every year on New Year's Eve, we have a game night. And whoever wins game night gets to be the Money in the Bank winner. And over the course of the year, you get to cash in different things that you write down and put into this briefcase. And in 2022, she got to put in 22 things that she would like to cash in throughout the year. One of those things, not cooking, and the other one was a date night. But I looked at Nora and I was like, hey, look, what if we didn't do a date night and we did a date day? Does that still count? And she said, yeah, sure. Why? What did you have in mind? I said, well, what if we did this? What if we went to Dunkin' Donuts, which I knew she was going to love because Dunkin' just came out with their fall drinks for the year, so pumpkin spice everything. I knew she was going to love that. I said, what if we went and got Dunkin' and then went to go get pedicures? Her eyes got so big, filled with excitement. I wish you could have seen how happy she was when I suggested that for our day date. Because we haven't had pedicures in forever. The last time that we got pedicures was back around my birthday, because that's what we do every single year. We treat each other to go and get a pedicure, and I think we were supposed to go and get one around our 1-year anniversary as well, but we screwed that one up. We managed to get one, so next month we'll get another one because it turns out it's going to be Nora's birthday next month. But man, I love going to get my feet done. It's one of the most relaxing things ever. But there's one thing that you don't see a lot of when you walk inside of a nail salon, and that's dudes that are getting pedicures, especially in the South, because it's not macho to go and get yourself a pedicure if you're a dude. And as soon as Nora and I walked in the door, I just felt like all the ladies' eyes that were inside of that spa just go right over to me. Like, what the hell is this dude doing here? He does not need to be in this. This is a girls only. This is where we hang out. This is the Women Man's Haters Club. It's a spinoff of the He-Man Women Haters Club from the Little Rascals. Such a great movie. I haven't seen it in forever. But anyway, I was just like, you know what? They need to get with the times. It's 2022. Dudes do this all the time. It's not my fault that your husband won't go and get a pedicure with you. Okay, I'm just a good husband, and I'm going to get a pedicure with my wife. I'm taking her out for a date day. And you know what? Nora was going to get the cheap level pedicure. And I was like, you know what? No, babe. Listen, there is no cheap pedicure today. We're going to get the nice one because we haven't had one in forever, and this is your date day that you cashed in. We're going to get a good one. Man, I'm glad we decided to go with the good pedicure. One of the best parts about getting a pedicure is the massage that comes along with it. And I feel like if you get a better grade pedicure, the better the massage is going to be. Nora and I had the two best ladies in there because when we walked out, I was like, how good was your massage during that whole pedicure? She was like, it was fantastic. I was like, mine was too. That lady just rubbed my legs. Like my calves had been hurting for a while, and she was just rubbing them down. And I'm like, oh my gosh, your hands, lady, they feel great with all that lotion that she was putting on there, the scrub that she was putting on there. I tipped her well. I tipped her well because I knew she went above and beyond with that pedicure. I was so happy with it. Next time I want to go back to that same lady because I felt like she did a fantastic job and she was dealing with me, right? I'm not the easiest person to give a pedicure to because I'm ticklish, especially when it comes to my feet. And if you're a ticklish person, you understand that pain that there is when you get a pedicure. When they bring out those scrubs and start to scrub your feet, you just want to squeal all over the place. And the way the lady was holding my foot, too, was not at a good angle. I mean, she was putting my foot pretty much in her face. And I was like, listen, if you tickle in the wrong spot and my leg twitches because of the tickle sensation that is running down my leg, you're going to get the sweet chin music, lady. I'm going to knock you out because of that little twitch that I have in my leg from being so damn ticklish. But luckily, I didn't do that. I would have felt miserable if I would have hit that lady with the sweet chin music. If I did, though, I would have pinned her 1, 2, 3, and I would have won the WWE Heavyweight Championship title. I would have done that. It would have been just out of instinct. Be like, hey, I just knocked her out. I got to cover her up and win the title. I got to do that. But the other thing that was happening to me during that massage is we had a cup of coffee. And when I drink coffee, my stomach tends to get a little restless, okay? It starts to go all over the place. I don't know if I'm going to be able to control it after I have a cup of coffee. But I had a fart pretty much the whole time during my pedicure. And I told you, that angle that I had was not great and would not have been in the favor of the lady that was giving me that pedicure. She would have been in the firing zone if I released a fart. She was wearing a mask, but that wouldn't have covered up the stench of that fart that would have come out of my pants. She would have probably had to stop because she passed out. She would have been on the floor. Somebody would have had to apply CPR to that lady. I could never do that. Never. To other people, like a Dutch oven, but to some stranger, I couldn't do it. Even though it should be the complete opposite, just because a complete stranger you're never going to see again. But I am telling you, I would have just felt really bad. But I want to do this again. I want to go and get a pedicure. I want to make it a more regular thing. I don't know why Nora and I just let it slip and not get one for our anniversary. Now we get one back-to-back months. I'm excited for it. I am excited. You know what I really want to do, though, is get a massage, a professional massage. I feel like that would be a lot better. Oh, boy, I don't know what just happened. I think something just fell in my basement, or I don't know if that was my dog or not. I have no idea what just happened. If you heard that sound in the background, something happened in my basement. Let me take a peek to see what happened here. Yep, that's exactly what I thought just happened. Nora just put up these like little posters, not posters, wall decorations. They're like these movie themed decorations above our popcorn machine, and they just fell on the ground. So I'm going to text her right now to let her know the movie theater signs just fell. She's going to get that. All right, anyway, let's get back on track. I think that Nora and I should maybe skip the pedicures, maybe look at getting a massage, a professional massage. Neither of us have ever had. Nora's had one. She won one from a Chamber of Commerce thing that she went to, but I've never had one. Nora's touched my back quite a few times. I would honestly love to do that. So maybe we'll switch it up since we just got a pedicure. That would be the good thing to do. You know what? Another thing I found out this weekend that I really like? Hot girl walks. If you've never had a hot girl walk before, just take your ass outside of your door and go walk around your neighborhood. It is so refreshing. I don't know what it is. Something about just walking down the street, wind blowing in your hair, probably not really blowing in your hair. If you're a dude like me, you don't have a lot of hair, and I usually wear a hat when I go for a walk as well, just to keep the sun out of my face. Wear sunglasses as well, because there's a lot of bugs in the area that I live in, and I feel like every single time I go outside, there's some sort of bug that flies into my eye. So I try and wear sunglasses as much as possible. But I love hot girl walks. I mean, I am a slut for a hot girl walk. I think we need to come up with a name, a gender-neutral name for a walk in the neighborhood. Can't just be a hot girl walk. Hot guy walk. No, that's too similar. Hot dude walk. Maybe hot dude walk. Maybe we could do that. But Nora and I went for 2 3-mile walks this weekend. And they were like an hour, maybe just a little over an hour. And we were walking through our neighborhood, having good conversations, looking at different houses, going, oh man, I really like that house. Oh, I really like that house. That house, it has a little work that needs to be done on it. But if you did fix it up a little bit, that house would look fantastic. Those were the type of conversations that we were having. But I just loved it. It was something so simple, spending quality time out in the neighborhood, enjoying the fresh air. It was great. Even today, this morning, we went for a hot girl walk. And we started walking, and we're like, you know what? We did like over a 3-mile walk yesterday. What if we just walked up to the Home Depot? Because we knew we had to go to the Home Depot today. What if we just walked up there, got what we needed? We needed some AC filters. So we're like, let's just walk up there, get them, walk home. It's probably going to be about the same amount of time that we spent walking, about the same distance that we spent walking yesterday. So let's just give it a try. And we had Nora's Apple Watch calculating our whole walk and everything. Turns out it was pretty much almost the same exact length walk, almost the same exact time that was spent walking. But we did that. We went into the Home Depot. We did not walk around the whole store because we knew we had to walk back to the house. It's like we only have 4 hands here, okay? We're not trying to carry all these bags back with us to our house. So we just got the filters that we needed, and we walked back. But on our way back, we had to pass a Starbucks. And Nora goes, you know, we could get a cup of coffee from Starbucks. She's like, do you want one? Have you ever met me? If you've met me, you know I'm not turning down a cup of coffee. Hell no. And I'm sure you're not turning down a cup of coffee either. If you are, got to question our friendship. But a cup of coffee, there is never a bad time for a cup of coffee. And I think I've also realized this weekend that I'm not really affected by coffee at any point in the day except in the morning. Like in the morning, it does a good job of giving me a little jolt. But if I had a cup of coffee at 9 o'clock at night, I would be absolutely fine. I could still fall asleep. And I'm telling you, our trip to Starbucks today was rather long. Like I had our AC filters in my hand, just kind of pacing outside of the Starbucks as Nora was in there. Man, they were taking forever. There were so many people. It was really busy. So like, it's not like I'm trying to throw shade at Starbucks, but they were just super busy because it was Sunday, people after church or people on their way to church stopping to get some coffee. And we had a little stoppage of about 10 minutes, I would say there. And then we carried on our way home, walking with a cup of coffee in hand, some filters. People were probably looking at us like, what the hell is wrong with these people? I remember watching people walk around in the neighborhood when I was a kid and be like, look at these losers. And now I'm that loser walking around the neighborhood. I'm walking to Home Depot to go and get shit. I'm reaching like peak adulthood right now. I really am. And I enjoy going for a walk more than I actually enjoy going to the gym. Like, going to the gym now is a complete chore. I got to get in my car. I got to go and work out. Then I got to come home. But just walking out of your door and going for miles and then coming back, I don't know. It's just, and especially like I could have a conversation with Nora and we can entertain each other as we're walking for a few miles. It makes that time go by so fast. And I feel like, to be honest with you, I don't really need to go to the gym. As long as I'm getting 60 minutes of some sort of activity a day, I'll be absolutely fine. And I think now going for walks is the second best exercise activity that you could do. Number one, I'll leave that up to you to decide on what that number one activity is. But I could think of one exercise that's a lot more fun, and it might burn more calories. I don't know. We got to talk to someone that is really smart that could figure that one out. But it's number two. Walks, number two form of exercise that's out there. And I have to say this. I felt like this weekend was great because, you know, I had another job, and I haven't told you about my new job yet. Soon I will tell you about my new job. But this was my first weekend off in a really long time. So spending as much time with Nora as possible was like on my list of things to do. And we were hanging out downstairs watching that Mighty Ducks series that's on Hulu, or not Hulu, Disney Plus. We were watching that, and I thought I heard some sort of like dripping coming from our utility room. I'm like, oh man, that's not a good sign. And Nora goes, what do you think it is? I have no idea. And I knew that we were having some sort of condensation from like our AC unit that's inside of the house, like AC/furnace unit. I don't really know all like what's called what because I'm not into those things. It's totally foreign to me. But I'm like, man, there's been a lot of water, like a lot more water than there should be. This is probably not looking the best for us. We got to do something. And Nora's like, well, what do you think that we could do right now? It's like, I have no idea, but we need to get this water under control. So Nora looks on her phone and she pulls it up. She finds this article that there could be some sort of backup in your line that goes to your drain off of your unit. And sure enough, we pull this topper off. There's water flowing out of it because there was a huge backup in there. We have a shop vac, wet vac, whatever you want to call it. We sucked that thing up. And in that article that Nora found online too, it said that you needed to pour some vinegar down there, make sure that it runs through and everything is okay with it, and then give it about a half hour before you turn your unit back on. And we did that. It turned out that was the issue because I told Nora, I was like, we'll monitor this issue. Let's go to sleep. If in the morning there's more water, we obviously know that there's a lot more issues with this unit than there is. But let's go to bed. If it's dry in the morning, we fix the problem. She's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, because I really don't want to spend $150. I bet you that's probably the minimum right now to get an HVAC company to come out to your house. Still summertime. You know, they're really busy people. So I'm like, I guarantee you it's probably about $150. This morning, I went downstairs to go check, bone dry. We did it. We accomplished it. I was like, man, this gives me like so much good vibes knowing that we just accomplished this. This makes me feel like a true homeowner. We did this all by ourselves. We didn't have to call anybody. We did it. Now, we went to the internet and got some help, but I feel like that's how you're supposed to learn now. You have YouTube. You have all these different articles online that are at your disposal, so that way you can learn from. We did it. We accomplished that. We are successful homeowners, I feel like. We're only going up from here. There's no going back now. When there's some little problem, I want to try and fix it before we call someone out. Because I want to feel what I felt like this morning when our basement was bone dry because there was no cloggage from our unit, from our AC unit. It was a win. We did it. I made Nora give me a high five this morning. Like, we did this shit. I think the biggest thing was we didn't have to call anybody. Sometimes Nora will call her dad and be like, hey, what do we need to do in this situation? And he'll kind of coach us through, which is really nice. It's great that he does that stuff, but it's like sometimes we need to figure that stuff out for ourselves. And, you know, home ownership, that's the stuff that you do when you own a home. And it just made me think of like all the things that I'm proud of or that I take pride in being a homeowner. That's why this week's top 3 things that I take pride in being a homeowner, let's start right now at number 3 with the top 3 things homeowners take pride in. Number 3, TV size. That is self-explanatory. If you have a house, you should have a good-sized TV in there. If you're a dude, you're listening to this, you want the biggest massive screen in your basement, in your man cave, in your living room, wherever the hell you watch TV. Right now, I don't have that. I can't take pride in that. That's why it's at number 3 on my list. I saw a TV over at Sam's Club this weekend. We went there. It was a 58-inch TV. Listen, that's all I could afford, okay? I'm not some baller like you that could just throw out thousands of dollars for like a 70-inch TV. But I'm going to upgrade my small TV that I've had for about like 5 years now. So number 3 for me of the top 3 things homeowners take pride in is a TV size. The number 2 thing of the top 3 things homeowners take pride in, grilling skills. You have to be a good griller in order to own a home. If you suck at it, I'm sorry, they should repossess your house right there on the spot. I'm not someone that is like over the moon, like in detail about making great barbecue or grilling crazy things. I stick to the basics, but I know my comfort zone and I'm good inside of my comfort zone. Everything that I make on the grill, always good, never dry, never get sick from it. So that's why you have to be good at it. If you suck at it, I want to throw stones at you. I want to make sure that you learn from someone else that knows how to grill. I want you to become good in that area, or else you're just like, you're not there yet. You're not ready for yourself to become a homeowner. So that's why grilling skills is the number 2 thing of the top 3 things homeowners should take pride in. And the number 1 thing of the top 3 things homeowners take pride in, their yard. You have to have a good yard. It's just as essential as having good grilling skills. Actually, it's more important. That's why it's at the number 1 spot. I was mowing the yard. It was Wednesday after work. It was the last thing that I wanted to do that day, but you know what? I had to get that shit done. I get the lawnmower out. I get the weed whacker out. I'm like, yeah. Here we go. I need this yard to look nice and presentable as people walk by throughout the neighborhood. Because what if there's someone else in the neighborhood that's going for a walk and like, man, that person's lazy. They're not mowing their yard. But guess what? I was mowing my yard and there was a dude actually walking through our neighborhood. It was like, hey, man, I want to stop you for a second. He put up his hand because I had the lawnmower going. He put his hand up. He goes, I just wanted to say, the lines in your yard, on point. You do a great job mowing your yard. That's the biggest compliment. As a 31-year-old, that is the biggest compliment that you can get being a homeowner. I crushed that. I'm like, damn. That gave me big dick energy. That made me feel good about myself. Excuse me? I have a nice yard? That's what I've always wanted. I've always wanted to hear that compliment. Nora's the only one that usually tells me, yeah, looks like the yard is good. And she does that because she knows, to me, that is important. Having a nice yard. That's why it's number 1 on my top 3 things homeowners take pride in. Man, that was a fantastic episode of The Luke Kelly Show. Thank you so much for listening. Next episode, you're going to be in store for a good one because Wednesdays, you know what happens on Wednesdays. We have a smut tale from my lovely wife. But not only that, Nora and I started to watch a TV show that is a spinoff on Disney+. I told you about it a little bit earlier on this episode about watching the Mighty Ducks show on Disney+. We're going to review it because we're going to finish watching it by Wednesday. So if you want to get up and be in on the conversation on Wednesday, make sure you watch the Mighty Ducks. I think it's called Mighty Ducks Game Changer. I think that's what the series is called. Emilio Estevez, the Mighty Duck Man, he is in the show. So you know you got to watch it. And there's small cameos from former people that were in the movie. So give it a watch, and we'll break it down on Wednesday's episode here on The Luke Kelly Show.